What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, talking today about Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and this is also coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, I have to say this right up front. Everybody assumed that if we ever got Red Dead Redemption to come back, it would be a remaster or a remake. That's not what this is. What we have here is an incredibly overpriced port. This is the exact same game with less features, and in some places, the graphics actually look worse. But let's discuss. Hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, I'll make you a deal. If this video somehow gets like 5,000 likes, I'll give away a copy of this game over on Twitter because nobody needs to be spending this amount of cash on it. Now, what is Red Dead Redemption? If you haven't played it or you're somebody that kind of got into gaming in the last couple years, I'm sure you've probably heard of it. This is essentially a Wild West simulator. You're playing as this guy named John Marsden who's trying to hunt down a bunch of people from an old crew he used to run in. The story, the environment, the voice acting of this game is just so incredibly good, but that's part of why everybody was hoping for a remake or a remaster or something to make this feel a bit more modern. Now, I played this game when it initially came out. I thought it was great back then, but the controls, the UI, some of this stuff is a bit clunky now, and they really did nothing to improve it. In fact, as I'm sure you can probably notice, a lot of the stuff looks downright weird. The menus are still 720p. They're actually downright blurry, which is just baffling. Like, how did they not upscale this or redraw it? Like, what's the purpose of that? A lot of times, graffiti or writing on the walls is also blurry. Even stuff like John Marsden's character model, you would expect, okay, even in a lot of these like very lazy slapdash remasters, they remake the main character so they look better. You know, you're going to see them the most, make sure their clothes look cool, improve their shadows. If they've got scars on their face like John does, you make those look a lot cooler. This game looks so bad. Like, John's clothes actually look like they're running below 1080p. Now, this game technically says it's upscaled to 4K. I don't have any idea what that's supposed to mean because 4K 720 assets don't do anything. Like, why would you upscale a game that isn't going to look better? Now, the shadows and stuff, a lot of this game, you felt like maybe they'll redo the lighting engine. Nope. This is the same lighting engine as far as I can tell, which at times is overly crisp. When you see like shadows scattered across the ground from leaves or trees, or you're just trying to traverse at night and there's some moonlight on you, this has such a weird, overly blown out look to it. It's just the way that a lot of games looked back in 2010, and back then we didn't really notice. That's just how games looked, so we kind of put up with it. But I expected they would do something to make this look a little bit more smoothed, round out the edges of some of those shadows so they don't look so obviously cut and paste asset wise. This game is just so bare bones, but they also remove stuff. I have the original versions of Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption's DLC, which is called Undead Nightmare. Both of these are actually in this repackaged version of the game, but it's missing the online play. This has a giant online mode that's still alive today called Red Dead Online, where you and your buddies can ride around on horses and rob stagecoaches, and it wasn't like the deepest, most groundbreaking thing, but at least it was an option. It was extra content that now is just gone. I guess I'm shocked that they decided to make this a worse version of a game that people already liked. But you know what my biggest complaint is? The fact that this is hard locked at 30 frames a second. Now, I do know there's been some discourse of, 60 frames a second doesn't look that much better if your TV can handle 40 frames a second, or if you are able to bump stuff up to 120 frames a second, it's not really that big of a difference. To me personally, 60 frames a second should be the bare minimum whenever possible. Just the more I play games at over 60 FPS, the more I actually appreciate how smooth it makes the experience, how much better it makes aiming, how much your reaction speed is improved when you're getting more data to your eyeballs. This is hard locked at 30 frames a second. Even on the PlayStation 4, or in this case the PlayStation 5, which is what I'm playing it on, this looks choppy, especially in some of these cutscenes. It's super weird that they decided to just not even figure out how to bump this up. There are hackers that have made free patches to play this game at 60 FPS. The game works at 60 FPS. It's not like it just suddenly freaking explodes and there's just horses on fire. They're literally doing the bare minimum and charging you $50. That's probably my biggest gripe about this, is that, you know what, if you were charging $20 and you said, hey, we're working on other stuff, most of our budget and time and developers are focusing on GTA 6 because this is Rockstar Games, I feel like people go, okay, we appreciate a way to play Red Dead Redemption on our current day systems. It's cool to play it on a handheld if you get this on Switch. But my issue is that this is $50. And it's not even going to get a physical edition here for a couple months. So even if you are a collector, it's not like you can pick this up at GameStop today. It's just the mere fact that Rockstar Games decided to take one of their best games ever, a true classic that they crafted with passion and love, and they turned it into one of the laziest ports I've ever seen, and then slapped the biggest price tag that they thought they could get away with it for. Like, it doesn't have haptic trigger support, it doesn't have any extra cool rumble feature stuff really. Like, this is such a bare minimum port, and it's not even coming to Xbox. Like, that's the other weird part, is that if you want to play this on Xbox, you have to buy the Xbox 360 disc, put it into your console, and play it versus backwards compatibility. That's the only way to play this game right now. Or if it's not coming to Steam either, so people can't even like mod it to get 60 FPS. Rockstar Games seems to not like Red Dead Redemption, and I guess that's part of what's just so baffling about this, is that you might as well play Red Dead Redemption 2. This is Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay I recorded yesterday on my PlayStation 5, because it just looks so good. If your options are that for much cheaper, or $50 for the crappiest port I've seen in years, why in the world would you pick the port? Rockstar Games puts stuff on sale pretty quick. I implore you, I've talked about this in the past, vote with your wallet. That means buying the stuff that we support, spending money to actually show the developers, show the executives in suits what we want more of. Buying this shows them that it's totally fair, it's totally allowed to make a lazy port. I bought it to do a review, and even then I feel like I kind of got scammed. I mean, to be quite honest. Disappointing. I like Undead Nightmare. I'm glad this game is here in some form, but for this price, for this quality, they don't care about the fans at all. And it makes me a bit worried about GTA 6, to be quite honest. But what do you guys think about Red Dead Redemption? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. My God, I can't believe this is... What a massive freaking disappointment. Years of rumors of a remaster, and we get this wet turd dropped into a Dixie cup. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.